Eric's going to go over hardware and software. Experiencing depression or feelings you can't control. Um, I know that when I got this done, that my productivity level went up, and it's been easier for me to bounce back with buoyancy, my thoughts. Like I won't get stuck in a negative emotion for a long time. With this technique, what it does is it creates space for your brain. And if you're choking off your brain, then that creates a lot of mental illnesses. And a lot of people don't talk about this enough. That's why I want Eric to come on, because he has enhanced this technology. He has made improvements on it, and he is a genius when it comes to the body. A brilliant writer, a really a genius person. He took this technology and ran with it and took it to a whole other stratosphere. And with a big round of applause, let's welcome Eric Craig to the stage.
Thank you. Eric kind of briefly said, I'm going to talk about the physical aspects or the hardware of your nervous system, and more specifically your brain, because you guys are working on the software and reprogramming the software and tapping into this is a psychic class, correct? Of course.
Yes,
Just so I
yes.
can relate it properly. Okay. So yeah, so we're talking about the hardware, and then we're also going to talk about how it can enhance your psychic abilities. And some of the stuff that I'm going to say, I realize may sound kind of out there, and that's because it hasn't been talked about, and it's stuff that I'm receiving and downloading in real time. But the ways that it can enhance your psychic abilities is that we all receive light. All information comes in light waves and frequencies from the stars and from the planets, and that's the foundation of astrology. But your antenna, which is your brain, it has to be able to receive these light activations that you're receiving from the stars. And the best way to receive that to your brain, because your skull is quite thick and dense and it doesn't allow much frequency through it, but the codes come in through the sutures of the skull. So I don't know if you guys can see, your skull is not one solid bone. You actually have 22 bones of your skull in your face. And these suture lines have small openings. So I think everybody can probably see that. And that's where the light and the information comes in to our antenna. And that's where we get DNA upgrades. That's where we get healing frequencies from the universe. That's evolution. Evolution is coming from the sky, literally. And if anyone wants to look it up, there actually is a little bit of research on it. The molecules that you can actually observe and measure are called neutrinos. So it's neutrino, neutrinos. And that's the actual information in the form of a molecule that comes down from the stars and from all the planets and the sun as well, the sun and the moon, obviously. And it actually is affecting us on a very real physical and neurological way. So again, I realize that sounds pretty weird, but maybe not, because this is a psychic course. Um, and so that can enhance your psychic abilities, because that's where you're going to receive information from your higher self, from God, from extraterrestrials, whatever. Um, and when you're working with other clients, you are communicating with the universe about the person in front of you. So if you're doing a psychic reading for someone that's, on the phone or in front of you, you're literally receiving information if your skull is open. The Egyptians were really obsessed with skull size, and they were very intuitive and into a lot of esoteric stuff. And they would actually drill holes into the frontal plate right here to allow more light information in. That's, you obviously don't have to do that. That would be an extreme of what we're talking about. But the work that I do, essentially, in just kind of in layman's terms, is we're trying to open up all of these sutures so that your skull can receive that information, as well as just on a more normal biological level, so it can breathe, because there's a slight expansion with every inhale, and then it contracts and it squeezes, and that's your lymphatic, or your glymphatic with a G, lymphatic pump, and that's what pumps all of your cerebral spinal fluid up here, but also all the way down your spine. So up and down is how you get like all that Kundalini energy, uh, prana, all of it is because of that cerebral spinal fluid going up and down your spine.